Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. Hi, Anastasia. How are you today?
I am great, Miss Deborah. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And I don't know about all over the United States and in the Caribbean, but it is hot here. It is
Ooh, Miss
hot.
Deborah, that's a topic all within itself.
You talk about a hot topic, huh? Well, we are here to talk about trending topics, things that are going on that need to be discussed. People are sweeping it under the rug. They don't want to talk about it. They want to keep it on the low. But we are here to bring out those topics that need to be discussed. And we have found that mental health, especially among our young men, as you know, young women as well. But these numbers with the young men, and they are not going down, they are only increasing. Last week, I thought I had a one time topic of teen mental health at home, but I ended up being on the broadcast by myself. And when I tell you one little subtopic I had, that was the whole entire segment. I think I was on like 40 minutes. So, hey, we broken it down into three parts. So, this is part two. We have some more valuable tidbits that will help our young men as well as parents, educators to look at the signs and other things to see what's happening and how they can help.
And I know that there are a lot of people that are thinking, as teens, what do they have to be stressed out about? What do they have to be anxious about? What is it that would cause them to get to a point of depression? And there are a lot of things that go on in their day to day lives that we as adults, one, have not experienced because in the times that we were growing up, it was a lot different. And so the things that they have to think about and consider are not the same things that we had to think about when we were growing up. So that's one thing. And then also the level of exposure is not the same anymore. When we think about when we were growing up, we knew, depending on the time that you grew up in, you knew about the kids down the street, you know about the kids at your church, you knew about the kids at your school. Maybe who you saw on TV, you fantasized about a little bit. That was it. And then it grew into maybe you had a college experience and you moved away from home. And so you had to learn to adapt to that environment and who those people were and different personalities and areas. But now there's so much exposure, there's so many different sources of information. There is the social media, there is the many forms of social media, whether it's through Instagram, whether it's just YouTube, whether it is Facebook, whether it is Twitch, no matter what it is, there is a level of engagement that kids have these days that we didn't have when we were growing up. And so they not only know about the kids at school, at church, and maybe if they go to college, but now they know what celebrities' lives are like. When we were growing up, we only knew whatever picture was in a magazine or whatever role they played on TV. That was it. But now their lives are on display. And so there's so much more to try and emulate than what we had. And there's so much thought that at a young age, you're supposed to have this and you're supposed to have that, and you're supposed to be doing this and doing that. And if you're not doing this by 17, if you're not doing this by 21, that you're failing or you're falling behind.
Um,
And so the amount of pressure that these kids have is different also because, when we were in school, our pressure was to get good grades, to make sure to stay away from that fast boy, that type of thing. But now, when they're seeing that there are kids who are millionaires at 7 years old, and there are kids who are streaming and they're making hundreds and thousands of dollars on a monthly basis and things like that, there's so much more pressure in their lives than what used to be there. And so, one of the things that we need to consider is, have you ever had to deal with your child shutting down emotionally? Ask yourself that question. Because when they come to you and they say, "Oh, mom, I'm so stressed out, I'm so tired, I am so this, I am so that," or you're noticing that major mood swing in them and they're just acting out, and you think or you feel that it's just for no apparent reason, there may be something behind it. And so you have to ask yourself, have you ever had to deal with your child emotionally shutting down? After you've asked yourself that question, then you have to consider, okay, how did you respond? Did you tell them, "Hey, you don't have anything to be tired about. Go and clean your room. Go and clean this house. Go and throw out the garbage. Go and wash those dishes"? Did you tell them, "I don't care if you are tired. Go and do your homework. Watch your brother and sister. I'm going to be out for a few hours"? Did you tell them, "You don't have anything to be tired about. Your life hasn't even begun yet"? There are so many responses that could be given. And I, at this time, would not like to say negative or positive. However, there are other things that we can do and other things that we can say to kids that may get a better response out of them. And so, after you've already thought about your child shutting down on you, if they have, and even if it wasn't an emotional shutdown, it may have been an acting out, a tantrum, then you have to think about how you responded to it. Now, once you've answered that for yourself, if you're comfortable enough, you can put your answer in the chat. We'd love to see it. We'd love to hear it. But what we're going to talk about for just a few minutes is creating a safe space at home. So I know that the first thought that may have come to your mind when you hear about creating a safe space is, listen, I keep a roof over their head, I keep food on the table, I keep clothes on their back, and that's safe enough. I pick them up from school, I take them to school. They don't have to be out in the street walking around, wandering anywhere. I take them to all of their activities. They are safe. That's not the safety that we're talking about today. Remember, our topic is teen mental health at home. Not when they're at school, not when they're in the streets, not any after school activity, but when they are at home. And so when we're thinking about the safe space at home, the first question is, what does emotional safety look like in your home? It's a loaded question, I know. And at first, I'm sure that you want to say that, you know what? If you're being honest with yourself, it may not have been something that you've considered before. What does emotional safety look like in your home? First, let's talk about what emotional safety is. It means that everyone feels free to express themselves without fear of judgment, ridicule, or punishment. I'll bring that back. Hold on, hold on. I got it. I might have done it too fast. I did it too fast. Hold on, hold on. Emotional safety means everyone feels free to express themselves without fear or fear of judgment, ridicule, or punishment. It looks like active listening, respectful communication, consistent support, and validating each other's feelings, even during tough conversations. And the important part where the pin should be stuck is that last part, even during tough conversations. In tough conversations, it's when it's harder for you not to use judgment, ridicule, or punishment. Having a safe space emotionally in your home means that your child is going to be willing to open up and talk to you about what's going on with them at school. Maybe that day, one of the kids were being bullied and it wasn't them, but they saw it happening and they didn't do anything about it. And now they're feeling guilty. They should be able to come to you, open up about the situation, get guidance from you, or get your feedback on it without the feeling of addition to that guilt that they already feel, or punishment for not speaking up, not doing what it is that you feel is right, or you feel that your response would have been as the adult. As a child in the moment, and if we're being honest with ourselves, even as adults, sometimes we can say that, oh, if I was there, I would do this. Oh, if I was there, I would have said this. Oh, they wouldn't have done that to me. Oh, I would have never let it go like that. But it's not until we are faced with the situation that we truly find out what it is we would do. And so we should not put our expectations of response on them. We have to take our time, listen to what they're saying. That's that active listening. Support their feelings, validate them, and then offer feedback. Okay, that's one. Remember, what does emotional safety look like in your home? If you've got some examples of emotional safety, exercises that you've done with your kids, examples that you have that someone else may be able to get a little insight from, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. We would love to see it. But the next thing that we have to consider when creating a safe space at home is, how do teens respond to judgment versus understanding? Remember, you are the sound of the voice that is their conscience. When they've got that voice playing in their head, it has your tone. It uses your dialect and your words. What do you want your teen to hear? Do you want them to hear criticism? Do you want them to hear negativity? Do you want them to hear that they're doing something wrong always? No one can be wrong always. Even a watch with a dead battery is right 2 times out of the day. Or do you want for them to have that inner voice of understanding, that inner voice that says, okay, let's try this from another angle. Let's try to do this a different way. Teens often shut down, rebel, or hide the truth when they feel judged. In contrast, when they feel understood, they open up more, they feel respected, and are more willing to engage in honest dialogue. And again, we're going to stick a pin in that honest dialogue part. It is important and necessary for you to be able to get the truth out of them. Teens have a brilliant way of dancing around a situation and avoiding direct conversations. I know. However, if you can get them to a place of honesty, then that's the best place that you can get them to. If they feel that you understand, or you are at least trying to understand what they're saying, and which is a part of active listening, not just listening to respond. But if they feel that you understand them, then they will open up more, they will feel more respected, and they will be willing to engage with you honestly. And I know that maybe that R word in there may have, touched a little nerve, but our teens deserve respect too. We used to say that in order to get respect, you got to give respect. That is still true. However, in the household, you are the model of respect. The respect that is shown and taught and learned within the household is what carries on out into the rest of society. And so if you, as the parent, are not modeling respect with your spouse, with their siblings, with them directly, then I'm not sure how it is you expect them to be able to respect others when they step out of your door. But lastly, don't worry, one more, only one more. Why just talk to me doesn't always work, and what to do instead. Saying just talk to me can feel vague or pressure filled to teens, which is why it doesn't work, especially if you're doing it with tone, with volume. Just talk to me. You're not going to get them to open up. You may try it a little bit easier. You may try it a little lighter. Just talk to me. That may work a little bit better. That still doesn't take away the feeling of pressure, though. Instead of just talk to me, let's try low pressure moments to connect, like talking during a drive or doing an activity together, and show consistent interest and patience without forcing the conversation. When they feel like they are under pressure, you are now adding pressure to their lives and they feel like it's already stressful. It's not helping. But if you notice that there is a difference in the behaviors of your teen, if you notice that something may have happened, but they haven't brought it to you as yet, and you feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had, then create a situation for it. Go for a drive. Go watch a movie on the couch that has the same theme along those same lines. And then it'll open the door for that dialogue. It opens the door for that question of, hey, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about that? These are the ways that we create a safe space at home when we're trying to ensure that our teens' mental health is being preserved. We're not just worried about physical health, we've got to worry about that mental too. Isn't that right, Miss Deborah?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, we have to, put ourselves out there and show that we are not just being judgmental or demanding. You're going to talk to me. We have to meet them where they are, most definitely. Yes, so thank you for that. Thank you all for tuning in. Well, I'm going to talk about the role of social media and peer pressure. And you may get tired of hearing that social media, but it is not going away. And believe it or not, it is one of those things that are really negatively impacting our young people because they are viewing it, they are getting absorbed in what they're seeing there, the bodies, the looks, the money, the things, the assets they can have, and a lot of that stuff is fake, but they don't know that. Even the bodies are spray painted and all of this stuff. In AI you can do anything, so it's something that you really have to look at and how it is impacting your child. But ask yourself, how is social media influencing my teens' self esteem and mental health? Two things, self esteem and mental health. It is actually impacting both of those because it make them think that they are not, they don't measure up to others. They uh, feel some type way. Why don't I dress like that? Why don't I look like that? You know, I don't have those type clothes. I don't have muscles. I'm too thin. I'm too short. Just the smallest thing that you would take for granted, it bothers them. So think about that. But you have to be real. Social media is just a huge part of their lives. It's not going away, so they're going to be involved in it. So you have to fix your mind as well as try to encourage them so that their mindset will change and they're not focusing and looking at social media as that, hey, that's the best thing right there. I gotta be engaged because they're gonna show me what I need to look like, what I need to do, how I need to talk, all of that. So you have to be aware of the slangs, the language, what's going on, and all of that. And we talked about the signs last week, signs that you need to look for. So if you missed that, please tune in to last Thursday's Let's Talk About It. But then there's a comparison trap because they are looking at what they see as perfect, and then they're looking at themselves as inferior. And we know that's not the case because God did not make mistakes when he made each one of us. So we are what we are. Maybe sometimes we can bulk up a little bit or we can lose a little weight. But for the most part, you may not have the same body type as that person. I tell people, what do you expect? You expect them to weigh 90 pounds and they're big boned. Their family comes from tall, broad individuals. That's in the DNA. You're not going to get 90-pound anybody out of that. Girls, boys, anything. So you have to tell them, hey, don't underestimate what you're seeing. Don't try to be something or someone that you're not. So you want to teach them not to compare themselves with others. Chasing the likes. I mean, hey, you put something out there, just think about it. And you're probably not stressing, but you put something out on Facebook or Snapchat. What are you gonna do before the day's over with? Oh, how many people got on there? How many liked the page? Even if I put a birthday out there, happy birthday, join me in wishing Dan a happy birthday. I don't want to see if it's anybody wish them happy birthday. Well, with our teens, that means more than it means to me. I just want to see, if people notice, and I want his day to be happy. But teens are looking at that like that's how my status is counted. Am I somebody? Am I inferior? It's based on my likes. If I don't get a lot of likes, there's something wrong. Not necessarily. Do people not have time? Are people not on that particular social media platform anymore? Or you got some haters? You cannot go by the likes, but parents, our teens are looking at those likes and they're basing who they are on those type things. I know when I started this platform in 2019, and then back then I was often talking about bullying, and then I had someone to tell me, "Oh, bullying is not a thing anymore." Well, yeah, yes, it is, because the data that I put together for today, bullying is still out there. It says online drama and bullying. One negative comment can stick with you more than 100 positives. We'll say that again. One negative comment on social media can impact our children more than 100 positive likes. Oh, wow. Oh, everybody was saying I was looking good. Oh, I was dressed nice for the prom. They really, really liked it. Oh, they liked my whip I was driving. They looked at my date. She was all that. They was talking raving on the restaurant I took her to. And then what? That was a hand-me-down suit I had on. Well, no, it wasn't. Now you forgot about all those positives that they got. Now it's like, why would they say it was a hand-me-down? You can't enjoy the rest of your evening because you're worried about that. You know it was not a hand-me-down. And unless you went to Paris somewhere and got a one-of-a-kind outfit, somebody else probably has one. But you know it wasn't a hand-me-down. So why are you allowing that negative person to bring you down? And you were on such a high, having such a nice time at a once-in-a-lifetime event. Your prom, your senior prom, you're not going to be able to revisit that again. And you were having a great time, but you let that one negative remark bring you all the way down. Parents, these are the type things that you have to look at because it is impacting the mental health of our teenagers and young adults big time. So we have to be cognizant of what is going on, what's the hype, and so we can try to, hit it head on and teach our kids differently and make them understand that what they're seeing out there is not important. What you know about yourself, what you try to do to make yourself be ethical, have great values, follow the teachings in your Bible, be respectful. Those are the things that matters. Will people like those? Maybe not, but that doesn't matter as much. And then FOMO. And if you're like me, at first I didn't know what in the world that was, but that is fear of missing out. So they also go out on social media, and this person is having a party, this person is going on vacation, that person is going to Europe, that person is going on to Hawaii, that person is going to, I don't know, somewhere else, really, really nice, on an African safari or whatever. And they're looking at all this. I didn't know, was that a trip that a group was going on? I didn't get invited. Well, why? But I'm going to miss out. If I don't get to go and hang out where these other guys are hanging out, I'm missing out. If I don't get to go to the school that my boy is going to, I'm missing out. Are you? I didn't get to go to the school where my friends were going. My mom said, hey, you see that school across the street from the house that you can walk to? That's where you're going. I don't care who going to the popular school. You can take your happy hips across the street. And when I went over there, I think I got a better education than my friends did, because that was still back in the day of a lot of segregation and a lot of discrimination. We weren't getting books timely. We would get inferior equipment and all of this. So it didn't matter, So you're missing out. Are you really missing out? Sleep and focus. What are they doing at night? They're supposed to be sleep, getting rest. Statistics show that they need just as much rest as they did when they were younger. They need that 8-9 hours of sleep. But what are they doing? They're in the room. You allow them to keep the doors closed. They're in there scrolling on social media, getting all that negative energy in them, when they could be spending that time studying, reading a book that's going to show them some basic principles, some positive things that they can do in life. But this is where the social media is taking them. It's getting them stressed. It's getting them depressed. And they are just losing it. Parents, if you are not staying intact in the circle, not yelling, because, as Anastasia is saying, you're asking questions, but you're saying it with bass in your voice and mean mug look on your face, and they're not going to talk to you. But you have got to get them in a space where they're comfortable, have a conversation where they feel like, hey, I can talk. She's not going to judge me, or he's not going to judge me. They're going to listen to me and help me. So you can find out what is going on with your child and all the social media. And it's not all social media that's bad, but it's how we're using it and what we're perceiving it to be. But to get in front of that, to help our young people so that they can not fall into these traps, the image trap of trying to look like someone else. It's impacting their manhood because they see this, they see that. Oh, that looks like fun. I think I want to do that. Where's the real strength? Is the real strength in hanging with others? Is it being more going to the places that I want to go? If it's not a popular place, but it's where I want to hang out. So I want to go and look at art. I want to go to see some classical music. So am I odd? Am I weird? No. You have different taste. There's nothing wrong with that. It is better to stand out than try to fit in, believe me. So parents, just stay aware without spying. There's a way to do that. And quickly, I'm going to give you some tools so you can we might call spy. So you're not really just all in their business. You're not being that helicopter parent, but these are some things that you can do. You ask, what social media platforms are you on, instead of waiting till they, go out of the room to get a snack and you grabbing their phone and you trying to see. Don't sneak. Ask. Have a conversation. What are you on? Why do you like it? So it's better that they feel like they can trust you and you trust them. They will be more open. Don't, like I say, don't go through their things. Don't, go wait until and then go in their room every 5 minutes and swinging the door open. It's your house. It's okay if you say the door's got to be open. It's okay if they got a bedtime. If they don't have a huge project and 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock is their bedtime, that's your bedtime. But you have to get involved no matter what. It's just not what it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And you want to do things so that they will be engaged. You look for the real signs, the isolation, sudden anger, sudden switching in how they've been acting. So if they were really happy, funny, always making you laugh, and then they go to being isolated by themselves, or vice versa, the shifts in their sleep patterns change. All they want to do is sleep, or they never sleep. Their hygiene changes. You're like, what is that smell? They feel like they're not even supposed to change clothes, change undergarments, take baths regularly. Something is wrong. These are signals, these are cries for help. So give them that safe space. Let them know that you are there for them. You want to be a part of their lives. You want them to have fun, but you want them to have safe fun. So I think that, if we go that way, we can help our young men. We respect them, they respect us, and we work together.
Hmm. I think that what you ended on is very important, Miss Deborah. Safe fun. They're always going to want to have fun. I mean, there are lots of songs about it, YOLO, girls just want to have fun, so on and so forth. Let's do all of that. But having safe fun is not always what's considered. And I think that it's very important. And I'm glad that you mentioned that also. Maybe it's something that will stick in the back of their mind or move from the back of their mind to about the middle, maybe the front, when they're making their plans and they're considering where they're going to go and who's going to take them and how they're going to get home and how long they're going to be out and all of these things. Safety first. It's been a
Yes.
great talk.
Yes. Yes, I think it's very relevant. So I hope that everyone online enjoyed it. I hope that you will share, because we need to get this to more parents. It's really, really important that we get parents engaged and get in the front of this, because this mental health is no joke. And, if you don't believe it, talk to some people. It's no joke. It's really, like COVID was bad. This mental health is bad, and it's not going away. Numbers are not going down. So uh, please share. We appreciate it. And I'm excited about Saturday. It's Moms on a Mission. Woohoo! So please join us Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Central Time. Moms on a Mission. We're going to have Anita Cummings, Tanya Presley, Brittany Clark, and myself, and we're going to be talking about TIPS tips. And we're going to be giving tips to our young men and tips to our mothers. We got some great information to share, so please join us. Please spread the word. We would love to have you here supporting us. So thank you. And Anastasia, do you have anything else before we close out?
I am looking forward to reading those comments of how it is that our parents out there are creating safe spaces for their kids. If this video has gotten to any kids and they have an example of how their parent has made them feel safe in a conversation or in a tough situation, then we'd love to see that too. But other than that, Saturday, Mom's on a Mission. Woo-hoo.
Yes. All right. And thank you, Sean, for tuning in. I see you sneaking here on us. But y'all enjoy. Have a great weekend. And I hope to see you Saturday. Remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. See you Saturday. See you next month, sis. Daughter. I'm so used to saying sis, daughter.
See you, Miss Deborah.
Bye.
Bye.